Yes. So I would like to tell about the Victorian age. And the Victorian age was a period from 1837 to 1901. And the period is named after Queen Victoria, who became a queen in 1837 at an early age of 18 and ruled the country for 68 years until her death in 1901. So the period from 1837 to 1901 is therefore called the Victorian Age. And we see Queen Victoria here on this picture. And in the Victorian Age, Queen Victoria was viewed to have a very respectful position, and the royal family therefore became treasured representatives of the country. But in reality, the business of running the country was left to the parliament. And at that time, the parliamentary democracy was admired abroad because of its stability. And now I would like to tell you a bit about the industrialization. During the Victorian Age, the process of industrialization quickened more and more as factories were built, which resulted in an economic boom, and a booming economy needed a new market and endless supply of raw materials, which means that there were no slowing down in the process of expansion. And because of the booming economy, England became a very powerful country, and this was especially clarified in 1876, when Queen Victoria was declared Empress of India. And because of that, you can tell that one of the values in England at that time was their status among other countries. And the industrialization did not only have positive effects on the population, it actually caused a lot of trouble because of horrible working conditions for the majority of people, including women and children who worked in factory. As we see on the picture here, a lot of children, and they probably worked in a factory. Yeah, and so the unregulated industrialization created great success for lucky few, but misery for the masses. And the troubles about the industrialization also tells us that the Victorian society was divided into nobility, the upper class, the middle class, and the working class. And we see here on the picture the working class, and you can see it here in the pyramid, how it looked like. And the Victorian upper class consisted of nobles, dukes, and other wealthy families working in the Victorian courts. And the upper class was in a very powerful position, giving them the authority, better living conditions, and yes. And together with the industrialization, the field of education also took a serious turn in the Victorian days. The need for more education became evident in the new and fast developing world, and the growth in education was certainly connected to the fact that printing became more widespread for everybody, so suddenly it became a part of the norms that young people should be educated, and therefore circulating libraries also became very popular and allowed people to borrow books for fair money. And now I will tell you a bit about the gender roles. It was expected of women that they should um, be poor and innocent before marriage, and moreover, it was expected by women that they should keep their home spotless, and she was totally dedicated to her husband and children. And woman, yeah, a woman has to repress her sexuality and remain faithful. Um, and we see here on the picture a woman in her household, and this concept about women should, yeah, the concept about women did not really apply to the Victorian men who went to prostitutes for sexual gratification. And again, about the woman, if you were if you was a prostitute, for example, you was an outcast simply because you did not behave like um, a woman should behave. And here we see on the picture two women standing with a sign where it says votes for women, and it's simply because women could still not vote here, even though the second reform bill of 1867 doubled the number of people who could vote. Yeah.